welcome to Vengeance Weekend on this edition of Battle of the Beast Shows. As we await a decision to be made from Triple H and find out who leaves Detroit the undisputed WWE Champion, a lot is taking place on the go-home episodes of Raw and SmackDown. The matches themselves weren't the focal point, but more of what happened with the shows as a whole and who will now be running them moving forward. Monday night kicked off with Vince McMahon coming out to the NWO's music, declaring the group disbanded after lasting nearly 6 months in the Federation. With Hogan going red and yellow again, Scott Hall getting fired after the plane ride from hell, and X-Pac will also be leaving the company in the coming weeks. Along with Kevin's injury from last week, WWE is finally admitting defeat when it comes to their New World Order revival. Mr. McMahon announced that to shake up both brands, a new general manager will be assigned to run each show with his, quote, unqualified support. To WWE's credit, they did really well when building up who Raw's new boss could be, mentioning names that hadn't been on the shows before or as of late, and even having Shane popping back up since the end of the Invasion angle to talk his dad out of this decision to no success. Vince would emerge on the stage to officially announce that Raw's general manager would be the man who spent several years trying to destroy the very same show head-to-head with Monday Nitro, Eric Bischoff. After the two embraced, or as JR put it, picketing each other's pockets, Bischoff walked down to the ring and made a promise to sign Triple H to his show, as well as put the E back into WWE. The immediate reactions from this were as you'd expect, with the WWE guys not being very open to their new general manager, while Eric's former employees in WCW were either cautious working with him again or just glad to see him back. This still ranks up there as one of the most shocking moments in Raw history, and it helped that they did a great job in building the suspense as to who the first general manager would be. Jumping ahead to SmackDown, Bischoff arrived trying to poach even more talent from the opposing brand, both old and new faces, including The Rock. Vince would later announce that the blue brand would be headed by his daughter Stephanie, this being the first time we've seen her since the night of the draft lottery. Steph promised not to let Bischoff steal her superstars and made sure to prove a point by having him leave the building. After the main event ended with Kurt Angle standing tall over The Rock and Undertaker, the show closed with Stephanie asking her soon-to-be ex-Triple H to talk, but Hunter said he'd wait until Sunday to hear everyone out and make his decision. Before the limo drove off, Bischoff revealed to be riding with the game, the tension quickly reaching a fever pitch as the brand split now just got a massive shot in the arm ahead of the pay-per-view. Now that we're caught up, let's look ahead to what these Beast shows under new management have to offer. Velocity closes Saturday Night Out with Cruiserweight Champion Jamie Noble facing Funaki before he defends the gold against Kidman tomorrow night. While Sunday Night Heat further builds up to Vengeance, the action starts off when Goldust goes one-on-one with Steven Richards. Let's get right into it. Time for some action from Thursday Night SmackDown. Things open on the new TNN with Shannon Moore looking to defeat Hugh Morris after his debut on last week's show. Mark Lloyd being on commentary this week means there won't be any human hugbees being thrown around, as Bill starts off slapping Shannon's chest in the corner, but Moore uses his speed to duck a few attacks and roll up Morris. After getting his leg targeted, Hugh catches the cruiserweight off the ropes, but isn't able to launch him into the corner when Shannon quickly escapes and goes back to knocking him off his feet before getting a near fall off the dropkick. More talk of Stephanie and Bischoff plays over the former US champion nailing a rebound flapjack and then throwing some right hands. Hugh pancakes Shannon in the corner and slows the pace by applying the chinlock. with the ex-boy band member's comeback getting stopped, but DeMott's wheelbarrow suplex attempt gets turned into a bulldog for a 2 count. Morris blocks Shannon's cradle attempt off the ropes, slamming him down, and teases going for the moonsault, but takes too long to set up and gets cut off. Moore climbs to the top and nails the corkscrew senton to get the upset victory, finally getting a bit of momentum early on into his WWE run. The action continues with Albert looking to take down OVW's Nick Dinsmore, while Cole chastises Mark for his, quote, journalistic reporting out in the parking lot on Thursday. Albert shoves Nick down several times as his opponent fights back and even gets in a roll-up pin. Dinsmore fails to get in another roll-up, later running into the bicycle kick, and getting ambushed in the corner, with Albert even chasing off the referee while getting himself fired up. Michael and Mark discuss Jericho attacking John Cena with a chair after their match on SmackDown, while the Prince bullies Mike Chioda out of the ring again. Nick finds a brief opening for attacks, but is quickly stopped with an elbow and catapulted into the middle rope. Albert then squeezes Dinsmore's head with both hands, using that same head to later toss him down onto the mat. Nick superkicks his way towards a comeback, avoiding a corner attack and hitting the flying forearm, keeping the pace with a variety of dropkicks, but isn't enough to get himself an upset win. Albert is able to stop the rookie as the Baldo Bomb attempt leads to the two trading reversals until the, quote, North American Grizzly squishes him into the turnbuckle. An attempted Vader Bomb is blocked when Dinsmore gets the legs up, but unfortunately does him no good when the Powerhouse finally connects with the Baldo Bomb to get the victory. Nick had a fairly good showing here on Velocity, and it's great to see his full range of moves and intensity during this period before being, well, limited from doing them when he later ends up on the main roster. Women's Champion Molly Holly heads down to the ring to cut a promo, saying that as champion, she has the responsibility to defend her strap against the women of both shows, all for the adoration from the fans, which hasn't been the case as of late. She calls out the fans for laughing and mocking her for having a big bottom line. Molly insists on being a role model for women everywhere, and that no man knows how to treat someone like her. This all leads to her declaring there won't be a title defense in front of the disgusting, nasty fans that don't deserve to see her.
Damn it! Damn it, Molly's not going to defend her title! The world is crashing down around us tonight on Velocity. But all's right in the world. Nitty is coming up with Noble.
While we don't get to see the women's champion compete, we do get Jamie Noble main eventing Velocity in a non-title match versus Funaki. Jamie hopes to get some momentum ahead of facing Billy Kidman in Detroit, and starts doing so by quickly taking down the Kaientai member, with the offense moving towards the corner as Funaki reverses and drops the Young Dragon via a hip toss and dropkick. Noble's arm gets worked on, with the two tangling on the ropes, but Shuichi stays focused by trying to lock in the armbar when Jamie retaliates. Funaki tries the baseball slide to ringside as the two training reversals ends with the Japanese superstar getting sent into the ring steps. Noble returns the favor by targeting Funaki's left leg and adds more pressure in the middle of the squared circle. The champion tries using the ropes to cause more damage, but Funaki uses his other leg to launch Jamie over the top rope, while trying to find his footing gives Noble enough time to recover and send the bad leg into the ring post multiple times. Though Sho quickly gets in a small package before receiving more attacks to the body limb. Out of desperation, Funaki is able to hit the Enziguri to try and buy himself some time. It does help SmackDown's future announcers start a comeback while limping around the ring as Noble kicks out of the follow-up cover, with Funaki's submission attempts getting stopped, as does his tornado DDT off the turnbuckle into a Northern Lights suplex.
I can assure you one thing, Cole. I will be there, the crack reporter at Vengeance, trying to find out who Triple H is going to sign with. You trust me, right?
No.
Oh.
Jamie gets caught off on the top rope, with Funaki attempting a toss, but Noble flips out only to get laid out with a leaping tornado DDT out of the corner. Nydia gets on the apron to distract Brian Hebner and Funaki, with Noble doing his part by rolling up and finally locking in the trailer hitch to quickly make Funaki submit and get a decisive victory. The Trailer Park couple Hope Kidman will suffer the same fate tomorrow night on pay-per-view, which, speaking of, let's jump ahead to Sunday Night Heat. Live on MTV from the Joe Louis Arena, Coach and D'Lo welcome everyone to Heat while going over the card for Vengeance before segueing to the recap of Eric and Stephanie being put in charge. While the recap takes place, let's see what international fans got for a taped episode this week. D'Lo got the win over Crash Holly, Matt Hardy defeated Raven, and Goldust got one over on Sean Stasiak, hoping that will happen again tonight with Big Stevie Cool. We come back from the break with Lillian interviewing John Cena, as the former Prototype makes the challenge to Chris Jericho for a match on the pay-per-view tonight, and is even courteous enough to...
You didn't get that? Let me rewind it for you. Not only am I the rookie with ruthless aggression, but I'm the rookie who's gonna kick his ass.
A segment from last night's Confidential covering Eric Bischoff is replayed, going over Eazy-E's time running WCW, as well as thoughts and reactions from both Vince and Jim Ross. Triple H is shown entering the arena and likely made his choice on which show the game will be exclusive to after tonight. The next video package covers the Tag Team Championship match, showing Edge getting to win the gold with his childhood hero Hulk Hogan, as well as dealing with the Un-Americans since the 4th of July. The King of the Ring Brock Lesnar could walk into SummerSlam challenging for the WWE title while holding the Intercontinental Championship if he can successfully defeat Rob Van Dam at Vengeance just like he did to win the crown. The vignette for Rey Mysterio Jr. hypes his upcoming debut on SmackDown this week, with Chavo Guerrero making the challenge to prove he is the superior Latin American star in the WWE. Time for our only match on Heat, with Steven Richards facing Goldust, and while these two will become a bigger part of the show in a year's time, tonight is all about firing up the crowd before Vengeance goes on the air. JR and Kane bring up Steven facing Tommy Dreamer in the Singapore Kane match on Raw, as the two start trading shoulder blocks and reversals. Goldust's back body drop doesn't stop the former RTC leader from chopping and attacking before his neckbreaker gets the near fall. A chin lock brings the action to a stop briefly before Stevie attempts a corner monkey flip only to get shoved off and take a bad landing when Dustin moves out of the way. Trading some blows sets up the Bizarre One's comeback, ending by trying for the final cut, but Richards escapes to hit the inverted DDT. Steven tunes up the band when Goldust catches the leg, but can't stop the second super kick attempt connecting for a close count, as Richards then hammer whips his opponent into the corner, but quickly runs towards a snap power slam that gives Goldust a victory from out of nowhere. Undertaker's interview from SmackDown is shown in full, but since I didn't cover it during the recap, let's check it out here. Michael Cole first asks him about defending the Undisputed title against Rock and Angle, only for the dead man to take over the interview.
Now you take The Rock, the People's Champ. At King of the Ring, he decided to step up and take his shot at me. And he chose King of the Ring because he knows deep down that one-on-one, face-to-face, he can't beat me. And he also realizes, he's smart, he also realizes that that would be the best way to get my attention. But what Rock has to realize, when he gets my attention, he needs to expect my wrath. That does bring Kurt Angle up now. The third dance partner in the triple threat. You see, Kurt Angle, he's living in a world of a delusional state, I think, right now. You know, he got some little half-assed victory over me a few weeks back on SmackDown. Non-title match. Now he's been jumping around and claiming that he's the greatest thing the world's ever seen. And then on top of that, he thinks he made me tap. If Kurt Angle and I had 1,000 matches in 1,000 consecutive days, Kurt Angle cannot make me tap. The bottom line is I stacked him up and I pinned him 1, 2, 3. So I don't know what his problem is, but Sunday at Vengeance, we're going to get a lot of things straight. The Rock and Kurt Angle both are going to find out why I am the American badass, and why that ring over there is my yard. I'm coming to take the yard. If you're caught in it, you're gonna pay.
As the fans continue filing in to the Joe Louis Arena, The Rock arrives to the building, while Terry Runnels interviews Chris Jericho about John Cena's challenge from earlier. Y2J calls the rookie a stupid, clueless, donkey. Chris thought a point was made after all those chair shots on Thursday, saying John has a big heart but not so much for a brain. He accepts the challenge for this wrestling match tonight to teach him another lesson that
fortunately is going to end his oh-so-promising career before it even gets started.
As well as to prevent any revolts for those who wanted to see the former Undisputed Champion compete on pay-per-view. It's pretty crazy to see John Cena already getting featured on a major WWE event this quickly into his run, though you gotta wonder if his time in the spotlight may only last 20 minutes at Vengeance, or say 20 years down the road. JR and the King are about to sign off on MTV until just another victim plays to the arena speakers as Tazz and Michael Cole walk down the ramp. Tazz calls Lawler and Ross the greatest broadcast team in the industry, but makes it clear that with Stephanie in charge of SmackDown, he and Cole need to start calling the pay-per-views. The Human Suplex Machine asks Jerry if he's not afraid of competition, the two starting to get confrontational until JR has to be the middleman and come up with a compromise. Michael and Tazz will call the action for the first half of Vengeance, while Raw's announcers finish the second half. As the guys swap out headsets and chairs, Sunday Night Heat comes to an end with the video package hyping the Undisputed Championship match. I gotta give some credit where it's due. A whole week with major changes to the on-screen authority figures and storylines did help stir some extra interest for the pay-per-view, while also giving fans an idea as to what the main shows will look like going forward. Velocity had a pretty good amount of action, plus an early appearance by Nick Dinsmore to fill out the hour. While Heat served its usual purpose for a pay-per-view like Vengeance, but did have a good match between Goldust and Steven Richards, as well as the brief but pretty great confrontation between both Raw and SmackDown's broadcast teams just as the show went off the air. The new approach for the brand extension is starting to heat up, pun partially intended, and we'll see how they continue to build this new competition between the WWE's brands on top of the aftermath from Vengeance for next time. Thanks for watching, and I hope to see you for another battle of the B-Shows.